everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Now today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We are actually going to be playing Dark Souls. Now I have played this game a lot, although it's been a couple years since I've ran through it in its entirety. I want to say it was like a year and a half, 2 years ago when I last would have beaten it, because I've been playing a lot of Elden Ring. But I had an urge to play it. Now we're going to be playing on the Remastered edition, specifically on PC. And I'm using a PlayStation controller. I recommend playing this game with controller if you have never played it before. I don't consider myself a Dark Souls pro by any means, but I can definitely beat the game. Now, just a disclaimer, we are not going to be fighting a couple of bosses legit. The main one I was find is we are in no way going to fight the Capra Demon in the way you are intended to. You cannot pay me. But I will show you a little cheesy cheese. But we're going to go ahead and create our character here. And let's see. What do we want to name? Let's name, Tyria. I don't know, it's just my default name for Dark Souls. This will be me playing on my default build for the most part. Probably not anything too crazy. Just because play what you know. Now, generally speaking, I like to start as the knight. Now, the knight is a unique one. The knight starts with the highest health, which I appreciate, but also one of the lowest endurances. And they're quality, but not quite. In other cases, I'd start as a warrior. But I think the knight's armor is cooler, and that's really all that matters. Because ultimately, your starting class only affects you for a little bit. Now, if you're new to the game, I would recommend going with the warrior, or perhaps the pyromancer. But that's only if you're new. This is not going to be a walkthrough, but I will try to get as much as I can and show you tips and tricks. This is meant to be more of a playthrough, though. Now, for your gift, we're going to go with the Master Key. If you know, you know. If you start as the thief, you get the Master Key by default. In that case, I would pick Black Fire Bombs, but we're not going to be doing that. We're going to stick to average build. Your build doesn't really matter. And face-wise, I spend most of my time hollow, because invasions are scary and I'm not good at PvP. So, we're never going to see our face in its glory anyway. But I'm going to go through and make my little character here. It doesn't take very long. I like to just create a similar face a few times until I get one I like. Sure, looks great. So let's send Tyria out into the world.
In the age of ancients, the world was unformed, shrouded by fog. A land of grey crags, arch trees, and everlasting dragons. But then there was fire, and with fire came disparity. Heat and cold, life and death, and of course, light and dark. Then from the dark they came and found the souls of lords within the flame. Nito, the first of the dead. The Witch of Izalith and her daughters of Chaos. Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, and his faithful knights. primitive pygmy, so easily forgotten. With the strength of lords, they challenged the dragons. Gwyn's mighty bolts peeled apart their stone scales. The witches weaved great firestorms. Nito unleashed a miasma of death and disease. And Seath the Scaleless betrayed his own, and the dragons were no more. Thus began the Age of Fire. But soon the flames will fade, and only dark will remain. Even now, there are only embers. And man sees not light, but only endless nights. And amongst the living are seen carriers of the accursed dark sign. Yes, indeed. The dark sign brands the undead. And in this land, the undead are corralled and led to the north. Where they are locked away to await the end of the world. This is your fate.
Alright, here we are now in control of our character. Now you want to pick up this so that way you can get out. And we're going to go ahead and do a few things actually first. The first thing we're going to do is go and shed all of our equipment except our pants. This is because if we don't, we'll be fat rolling, which is not what you want to be doing in any sort of FromSoft game, but especially not the Dark Souls trilogy. In Elden Ring, you can get away with it a little bit more because it's more generous. These here are messages. I'm not going to go through them. Again, this isn't an exact walkthrough. But I will do my best. You're going to work your way down a hallway. A lot of the Undead Asylum here, if you see these little phantoms, it's from when you play online for just other players going through the same areas you generally are. You see them once in a while. Now these are bonfires. They're kind of like your safety/reset points. They're also where you respawn at. If you die, you respawn, generally speaking, at your last visited one. Now, through these doors is going to be the Asylum Demon. You do not want to fight this guy. You just want to book it for this door over here. You will not win. I can assure you now. So again, here's another phantom for you. You can hear the Asylum Demon just banging his head against the door. Good for him. And if you see these bloodstains, you can touch them to see how other players died. Ooh, excuse me, sir. Sir. Now here is your shield, if your starting class has a shield. Most of them do. In fact, I don't know if there's one that doesn't actually, now that I think about it. Now this guy is just going to shoot you. He's mostly to be annoying. And there is your weapon. Now the knight starts with the broadsword. Now this will not be the weapon we stick with. We're actually going to be wielding the claymore for most of this playthrough, because the claymore is my bread and butter sword weapon. And then maybe after we beat the game the first time, I'll do more dedicated builds for each stat. Now, that guy look familiar? I'm sure he does. Again, I'm kind of half explaining this like you've done this before and half explaining it like you've never done this before.
Oh, you, thank goodness. I'm done for. I'll die soon.
Just because I know I mostly post Sims content,
Regrettably.
and Dark Souls
And
is
perhaps you,
not
as I
that.
was saying in my
Although I'd argue it's a dating sim in some ways.
Oh, and Estes.
Especially later from soft games like Elden Ring, you
Now
can
I'd like to
literally
hum
get
and thank
married.
you.
Unfortunately, you
Now
cannot
I'd hate
get
to hum you
married
half
here.
to death and thank you.
But this here opens up a shortcut. There's lots of little handy dandy ones like that here. Now, we don't want to go back through the door. You could take on the Asylum Demon, but there's a better way to do it. Now, I'm going to have my shield up. Nope. I messed that all up. Normally, I parry this guy. There we go. I'm normally really good at parrying. It's because I'm recording, I swear. Now, parrying in this game is probably the easiest one to parry in, just because things happen a lot slower. At least to me, other games I have a really hard time parrying. We're gonna drag this guy out here. Okay, whatever. I just can't parry today. Go on. Yeah, you just parry, then we're lost. The goal today is to get out of the Undead Asylum and maybe to the first bonfire of Undead Berg. That's kind of the goal for today's episode. Now we're going to switch to two-handing our sword, and you'll see why. We're going to take a sippy sip, and we're going to go through the fog gate here. Look down, and doesn't he look familiar? What a handsome devil. Now, you want to get around to his booty. And you are just going to hug his booty and wail at him. I find sticking by this half him a little easier, because then he just tends to push you. Usually he'll do a jump move, you just kind of run away. He's not that bad. He's really scary the first time, but he's really not that bad. He's kind of a big baby, honestly, in my opinion. Now we run up here. We're gonna go ahead and grab this item here, which is soul, which is like the money.
Only in the ancient legends it is stated that one day an undead shall be chosen. To leave the undead asylum in pilgrimage to the land of the ancient lords. Lordran.
Alright, we were dropped off by the Crow Bear. Now, there's a lot of items to pick up here, but the first thing we're going to do is eat a bunch of souls. Or at least our one little item we got. Then we're going to rest at the bonfire, and now we can level up. The first thing I always do, level up endurance. I like to try to get my endurance and vitality up to about 20. Now we're going to do a few death runs. These are runs you are not meant to come back from.
But there's no salvation here. Well, since you're here, there are. At ones up above in the unledger. Ring them both. And something happened. Not much to go on. But so, off you go. It is.
So this guy is the Crestfallen Warrior. He'll always kind of be your little greeter. I just sped through his dialogue there, but basically he just tells you have to ring 2 bells, and that you weren't told the whole truth. Now we're gonna go and collect some items here. Yes, my arch nemesis. Unfortunately, I must talk to you.
Have you business with us? If not, I'd prefer to keep a distance, if possible.
Yes, I know I'm hideous.
Hello there. I realize that I have requested, but I also want you to know that it is not meant in ill will. Here, take this as a token of peace. No, go ahead. It's for you.
So he's gonna give you a lot of things to try to get you to stop talking to him.
I know.
Generally speaking, with Dark Souls, you just want to ignore the NPCs into talking with you.
So what if I were to teach you some miracles? Would that...
You always want to say yes in Dark Souls, never reject it.
A covenant with the god. Now,
so because we started as a knight, we're already in his covenant. Covenants are kind of like your... I'm trying to figure out how to explain. They're like your legions. Now, you're not required to stick with them. There is one we're going to be in, and we'll probably never leave. Now, we can't do anything too much with him yet, but let's just say you're going to want to remember that guy. But we're just going to go on a collectathon here. I will see you all after his little montage I do. Alright, I am back after a little item gathering montage. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Now we ended up getting a lot of stuff. Mostly a lot of money. Which is always great, but the first thing we're going to do is come down here, actually. I may have noticed I collected a Firekeeper's soul. That's important. It gives your health juice more oomph. There's only a handful of them to get. We're gonna go ahead and reset it. Always a habit of mine to sit at the bonfire. Now we're gonna eat all these souls we just got. Fortunately, there's no faster way to do this. Alright, so we ended up with 4,400 souls. So again, we're gonna pump all that into endurance. Endurance is your stamina, which is the green bar. And it also makes it so you can wear better armor. So we're actually gonna go ahead and put this back on, because we can actually afford to now. Now the claymore, I usually build it as a quality weapon. Quality means it scales off of strength and dex, so as the stats you invest into it. Come on, buddy, come and get me. Now we are currently hollow, and you'll probably want to get used to this because I generally always stay hollow. Just because online invasions are scary, and I'm not good at PvP. And yes, being against the wall is very annoying. Now, I like to try to get critical hits often, which is what you're seeing me doing now. Normally, if I don't suck. Today is just not my day on that, I guess. Now the thing is, only the Fire and Firelink Shrine gives you 10 Estus flags. Everyone else gives you 5 until you defeat a boss later. Which you could do at start of the game if you really wanted to, but I hate the run to that boss. The run to the boss is the real boss. Dragon! Come here, buddy. Come here. Come and get some. You know you want to. Now, we will be returning to that bonfire later, but we got some stuff to deal with first. Dang it, I didn't want to get both of you. Okay. Someone come and follow me. Come on. Now, these dudes are really annoying. They hide behind your shield, just like I do. But with a bit of luck, you can try to get them dead. Not do that. Come on. Someone do it. One of us is gonna have to lower our shield. I love to parry. Parry, parry, parry. Come on. You know you want to. Dang, today is not my day with pairing. I promise I'm usually better than this. Now, this guy here is a merchant who gives you a very solid weapon called the Uchi Katana. But we're not going to be doing an Uchi Katana run. What we are going to get, though, is this orange guy in the soapstone. Very important. He sells you firebombs, throwing knives, Lloyd's talismans. Very handy stuff.
I'm not here to. We talk biz. Thank you, kind.
Now, he's a little crazy, but to be fair, everyone in this world is, so, you know. Where are you going? Yeah, come here. Now, these guys are kind of fun, because if you do it right, you can get them one at a time. Generally speaking, they're dumb enough to always let you parry them. Just kind of inch your way forward here. Now up here are some throwing knives, and here's a jump. Now there's no dedicated jump button in this game. What you do is you press circle in my case, and then you press it again, and it kind of makes you jump. They didn't actually add a dedicated jump button until Elden Ring, so here's your fun fact of the day, I guess. Now normally you'd want to probably ease up on your flask usage, but I don't really care. Now there's a few more items around here. Again, I'm probably not going to be talking a whole lot during this. At least if there's not a whole lot going on, because I don't want to overwhelm you guys. But also because I'm just concentrating. Like I said, I'm okay at this game. Like, I can beat it. But I'm not by any means, like, a pro. Like, I'm not going to be doing any challenge runs anytime soon. But, you know, I can beat the game, and I don't think I'm half bad at it. Now, we have made it to our first bonfire, and our next level up. We're going to pump our endurance another point. Now, we got a few more things we gotta do. But we're going to be leaving that for the next episode. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that. New Dark Souls videos will be coming out on Thursdays. That's the plan. So expect one every Thursday or so. And there will be another episode of Joy of Life tomorrow, so definitely keep your eyes peeled. Thank you for all the support on that series, by the way. We made it to 5 episodes. So if you're curious to see me play more quote-unquote cozy games, feel free to check that out. That'll be linked at the end of this video. That being said, please remember to take care of yourselves. Drink a glass of water, eat a sweet treat or two, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.